I had started to go into houses in the neighborhood I lived in. I had started going to the next door neighbor's house periodically, and then houses across the street and several blocks over. I started doing this when I was about 14.
How did this idea come about to go into someone's house? First time.
It started off initially as curiosity. I was interested in what was going on in other people's homes. I was interested in how they lived. I was interested in just taking a look around.
Did you take anything?
No. And, there were several times when I did take some items. One time I took some silver dollars. Another time I took a buck knife, but I returned those. Went back a few hours later and put them back. The first successful offense I actually committed involved that type of process where a woman had gotten out of her car, gone into a store. I got out of my car, walked over to her car, opened up the door, sat down inside, found her registration, found out where she lived, got a map out and found her house, parked around the corner from where she lived, walked down the street up to her house, knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, nobody answered. I just tried the front door and it was open, so I walked in. I'd gone over in my mind how I was going to proceed. We discussed before how I'd gotten the idea from a book I'd read, a story by James A. Michener called The Source, in which there's a rape scene in there where a man hides behind a door, waits for a woman to come back from the well, and he grabs her when she walks through and he rapes her. And I'd been thinking about that a lot, and that I could use the same technique, the same process, which is what I started doing.
Now, eventually you get caught.
Yeah, I got caught, yeah.
How did you get caught?
The crimes I was committing began to show up in the newspapers and on TV, and there was an effort by different police agencies to catch me. I didn't have any criminal record, never been arrested before, so they were having a lot of trouble catching me. I wasn't really conscious of that. I never tried to. I left fingerprints everywhere. A lot of the witnesses, had a good look at me. The women had a good look at me, later became witnesses in the case. I was driving on my way to work, and I was driving through a neighborhood in my car, and somebody took my license plate number down just on suspicion. It's a strange car in their neighborhood, they didn't know who it was, phoned it into the police, and I guess at that time they were following up any lead that they had. And later on that day they came and wanted to talk to me at work. I was working for my stepfather at his furniture factory. They came in, asked a question, speak to me. They spoke to me for a few minutes. Said they were going to arrest me on suspicion of rape, and they took me to the Chino Police Department where they fingerprinted me. And after they fingerprinted me, they had a match on most of the crimes.